Bello for the Montana State Bobcats. On the other side of it is Jonathan Kamagun, and it is a winner for Sacramento State on that opening tip. They'll get the first opening possession. They're out of the gates now from Worthington Arena, Bozeman, Montana this evening. Dribbling over to the top is Chamble. Down inside, three-pointer will fly. Out of the gates that time, Sacramento State getting on the scoreboard early. It was Fitzpatrick who hit that three-pointer.
Yeah, quick set play to get Fitzpatrick off a double team there, double screen rather, and he buries it from the wing and gives Sac State a little early momentum.
Montana State now working it around the timeline, trying to get it figured out. And the dunk out of the gates, too, coming from Montana State. The Bobcats make it a 3-2 ball game right now. The other side head coach for Sacramento State, Coach Brandon Laird. Leading the Sacramento State group to 3 straight wins. An opportunity to be able to get a win against the top-seeded team. Wide open down inside, blocked from behind. Bello got his hand on it. Right back into the hands, though. Kamagun, and it's going to be stolen away that time. Kamagun couldn't get it to go. And the rebound coming for the Montana State Bobcats. Right wing three, Abdul halfway in and then out. It won't go that time. And a rebound coming for Sacramento State. A 3-2 ball game in which they lead. 18:35 to go in the first half. Fadeaway jumper on the way. Off the mark that time for Bryce Fowler, the leading scorer for Sacramento State. Can't get his first from the field to go. Adamu will kick over to Patterson. Patterson feeds it inside to the big fella Bello. Bello backing his way to the front of the hoop. Has it knocked out of his hands. An early turnover will give the ball back over to Sacramento State. Something in an area I know you said, Bobcats, you want to see him work on. You're down on the ground, and he's out of bounds. Is William Fitzpatrick. Back over to the Bobcats it goes.
Sacramento State doing a lot of changing defenses here. They've shown the 1-2-2 three-quarter court. They've shown a 2-3 zone. They've shown man. They're almost trying to switch on every dead ball, every make, trying to do things to keep the Bobcats out of rhythm.
They get it over to Adamu, and he didn't get it across in time. 10-second violation. And that will give the basketball back over to Sacramento State. 2 back-to-back turnovers now to give Sac State an opportunity to add to their 1-point lead.
Yeah, and that one was just not being aware there. Adamu didn't realize that he had to get that thing across. He casually walked it. He easily could have got there. Ended up a couple feet short, and that's turnover.
All right, Montana State works it around the timeline, or Sacramento State, I should say, works it around the timeline. They get it down over to the far side corner now to Wilbon. Wilbon man-to-man with Abdul Muhammad. 8 seconds to shoot. Into the center of the lane. Spins away. Fadeaway jumper off glass. It's something good that time for Wilbon. That's a nice-looking move as he fades away off balance. Here's Adamu. Now he'll pass half court. Give it back over to Xavier Bishop. This Sacramento State team, they'll be in your face. They'll press you. They'll give you some of that full court. Xavier Bishop's going to have a guy in his face. Here they switch into the zone yet again as Adamu has it at the top of the key. Adamu slips it inside to Bello. Bello now with 8 seconds to shoot, center of the lane. Double team down underneath, goes up, he's fouled. And onto the free throw line will go Jabril Bello. This one whistled against number 14, William Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Bello's just such a load in there. You can see Sac State bringing the double team. It just is not getting there quite early enough. Once he gets that momentum going, Fitzpatrick has nothing to do but reach in, try and make the strip, and instead catch his arm and puts Jabril Bello on the free throw line.
Spot where Jabril Bello has been really good. The Bobcats trying to stop a 2-minute scoring drought here right now. No points in the last 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Bello with the free throw line now with a couple of dribbles, and his first one's up and good. That cuts it back to a 2-point ball game. Sacramento State 5-3. They lead it by 2 with 17:15 left to go in the first half. Bello shot 71% for the free throw line this season. He shot the most free throws, and he's made the most. 131 of his points have come from the free throw line, and that one's up and good.
Having a big guy who can make free throws, such an advantage. You think back to like the guys like Shaq O'Neal. You foul those guys instead of let them score. Jabril Bello, you can't do that. He is likely to make both free throws.
Here's a left wing three on the way. It's up, no good, and a rebound coming inside. Yeah, more than a third of Jabril Bello's points this season have come from the free throw line. Right wing three on the way for Patterson. That one's off the side of the rim, and going for the rebound, Abdul Muhammad was pushed, and it was pushed by Cameron Wilbon. That's Wilbon's first, team's now second.
Good job by Abdul Muhammad getting to the glass. He's another guy that the Bobcats would like to get going before Boise. He's got to find ways to score the basketball. And one of the ways to do that is to get on the offensive glass, which he did right there.
There's Bello with the right elbow now. Fakes it up now, driving inside, slips around his defender, and it's hit from behind, out of his hands. The rebound coming inside and thrown off Abdul Muhammad. It will stay with Sacramento State now. They've got a 1-point lead, 5-4 with 16:42 to go until halftime. Cameron Wilbon playing a little point here. Kicks it back over to the far side to Bryce Fowler. Will bring the basketball down. They'll kick it over to the far side corner. Now off over to Chappelle. Chappelle kicks it over to the corner. Left wing three on the way. Off the front of the mark. That time it won't go for Fitzpatrick. A rebound inside for the Bobcats. Trying to cut down on this deficit. Bobcats have not led in this contest. They put up to Bello. He's got a catch when he goes back up that time, and it cannot finish it. Here's a rebound for Sacramento State going the other way. Off the side of the rim, and it won't go that time for Fowler, and a rebound from Montana State. Bishop, one-on-one. Around the defender, lets it fly through. And the Bobcats were in front for the first time in this game, 6-5. It was 15:53 to go in the first half.
And the Cats right there are able to get transition offense, and they want to see some pace to this game. Sac State wants to walk it up the floor, deliberate, set play every time down. Definitely contrasting styles of play here.
Whistle call. Free to win campaign to reach our $3 million goal supporting student athletes. Here's the inbound as Sacramento State will get a start with the basketball out of the media timeout. They'll work it down over to the nice cut down baseline. It's up and good for Fowler that time, and he gets on the board with 2 points. Fowler getting his first couple of points on the board as Xavier Bishop gets it past half court. Patterson now with the basketball. Xavier Bishop back over to the top, back into the corner, inside to Great Osabar. He checked into the game, double team, turns, spins. Nice move out of the freshman Great Osabar to give Montana State back the lead 8-7.
Yeah, he had a nice matchup there against the Sac State zone. Did a great job of posting the center guy in the zone. Great feed by Tyler Patterson, and easy two.
Down over to the far side now. Drive over to the baseline underneath the basket. Trying to back his way in front of it. Up and good for Chappelle now. After a couple of back-to-back ones that would not go for Sacramento State, they've gone on a run here. A couple of back-to-back baskets going. Ahmed Adamu crosses half court. And now Xavier Bishop goes back over to Ahmed Adamu. Patterson over to Xavier Bishop. Back to Patterson. Top of the key three. Halfway in and then out. Been the last couple of shots now for Tyler Patterson. So close. Halfway in and then rattle out. You got to believe that he's one who is due to get hot. Now skip it over to the right wing. Now will Sacramento State. Over to the baseline. Back his way over to the hoop. Now hook shot on the way. No good. Time for Komagum. And a rebound coming for Xavier Bishop. Inside a Great Osabar. Osabar just spins past his defender, and then Komagum's got to foul him to prevent a wide open layup. That will be his first and the team's third.
I don't think Sac State wants to use fouls on the freshman. Save those for Jabril Bello. He's a little bit more of a load, but the freshman just makes such a good move. It's easy lay-in if he doesn't take a swipe.
Free throw will not go for Great Osabar. Raekwon Battle will check in as Ahmed Adamu will take the seat down. Second one on the way. Good. Sacramento State tied up with Montana State 9-9. 13:53 to go in this first half. Driving inside, Fowler sees the open lane, lays it off the back of the rim that time, and a rebound coming for Great Osabar. Bobcats looking to work quick. Abdul Muhammad now will slow it back down over to Raekwon Battle. Xavier Bishop at the top, driving inside around the defender now. Reverse layup, too hard off glass, but a rebound for Great Osabar. Bobcats working it in a hurry. Xavier Bishop now over to the far side corner. Turning, spinning his way. Mismatch down inside. Here's Patterson over to the right wing down with the basketball. Back over to Xavier Bishop. Now this is a mismatch, and Xavier Bishop with the right wing three off this side of the mark. It would not go. It's being guarded down inside by Hugo Clarkin, who's listed as a 7-footer. Going against Xavier Bishop. That shot wouldn't go, but now it's back with the basketball. No shot, no shots as the officials. A whistle comes. think there was a shot clock situation that didn't go quite right.
Yeah, it looked like to me, actually, Fitzpatrick threw it up and it did hit the bottom of the rim. So I do think it should have reset. But we'll have the officials take a look.
Mark Beasley,
it would only be a 1 second difference.
Yeah. Get a shot to be able to go over to the monitor now and get a look at this. 13:08 to go in the first half. It's a 9-9 ball game right now. Sacramento State. You ever seen a matchup with a 7-footer and a 5'8" guy listed on the other side?
Yeah, there was a pretty massive difference right there. And it's one of those things that you just sit here and go, how is that even possible? Sometimes you see it in the post more for a switch or something, but on the perimeter, give the big fella credit. He did a nice job and battled as best he could. He forced the miss, so I guess he wins that.
Well, here's a left wing three off this side of the mark that time on a rebound coming for Abdul Muhammad. They added 2 seconds on to the shot clock is what they did after the replay monitor. Go down inside to Great Asabar. Asabar now spins over to the right. Hook shot into the center lane. Gets his own rebound as the shot wouldn't go. The reverse. Wow, what a move. Underneath the hoop and finishing with the foul is Great Asabar.
That was a tremendous finish there. He was able to get that ball and actually just put a little English on it. I suppose that makes sense based on his origins. But he puts a little English on that thing and gets it to spit in, gets the and one.
Foul coming against Fowler, too. It's his first. Great Asabar's free throw would not go, struggling a little bit. I talked to Coach Sprinkle before today's game. I said, you know, we've seen lately going a little bit big at time with Great Asabar, Jabril Bello. That's got to scare some of the coaches in this league, as that shot would not go for Sacramento State. To think that they've got a whole nother season together next year where those two are going to be able to develop in this offseason and be able to provide quite the spark. Raekwon Battles fouled down to the baseline. He'll go to the free throw line. This one coming yet again against Bryce Fowler. The leading scorers got 2 quickly for Sacramento State. The team's 5th.
Yeah, really nice drive by Raekwon Battle. Forces the contact, and you know, that's a smart play by a semi-experienced player who's able to see the matchup, attack the defender, make sure to get the contact before you release the shot, and finds himself with an opportunity to get a little rhythm offensively by making some free throws.
Free throws up and good, and now Bella will go to the free throw line. A 2.5 minute scoring drive now for Sacramento State. 12:27 remains in the first half. 12-9 Montana State right now with a 3-point lead. Here's the second one for Raekwon, up and good. 13-9, largest lead of the game for the Bobcats, now sits at 4.
And you look at this lineup for Montana State, minus Xavier Bishop. This is kind of what you might be looking at next year. You got Tyler Patterson back as well. It's a pretty good core to return to try and defend the title.
And the switch gets a wide open look at the top of the key for Chappelle, and Chappelle knocks it in to pull it back within 1. 13-12. Sacramento State was on a 2.5 minute scoring drop, but they hit the triple that time. It's one of the first times in a really long time that the Bobcats have seen an extended zone. At times people have gone into a zone, but this has been the entire first half just about so far. Gonzalez knocks it in that time to give Montana State back a 4-point lead.
And that's one of those guys we want to see make shots, get a bit of a rhythm heading down to Boise, and that hopefully is the first of many to come for Nick Gonzalez.
15-12, Montana State in front by 4. Driving inside off the drive that time, and off the backboard, up and good for Chappelle. 15-14. They listed up on the scoreboard 15-14. Is this one's going to be an and one for?
And Raekwon Battle, another guy you like to see getting a nice little rhythm here early. He's made 3 free throws and a layup, so he's got 4 makes already. Big for Montana State.
Yeah, 5 points coming out of Raekwon. It's been a while since you've seen a packed score sheet for Raekwon like we saw during that stretch of 11 straight wins, the longest streak for Montana State in their history here in the Big Sky. Driving inside now, off the side of the rim, it's off, and a rebound coming inside for Great Asabar. The outlet up to Xavier Bishop. Montana State trying to take advantage right now. 4-point lead. Oh, and this one just stolen away right out of the hands of Raekwon Battle. That time, Zach Chappelle with a strong right hand to grab this one through. Sacramento State trying to take advantage of another Montana State turnover. Driving over to the left edge now to the top of the key is Fitzpatrick. Sacramento State at the top. Driving in here is Chappelle. Chappelle's shot will not go, and a rebound inside for Raekwon Battle. Bobcats with a 4-point lead. Inside to Great Osabar. What a feed and what a find. 20-14.
Good run for Montana State. They get an early lead here, and now they got to find a way to build on it. Sac State coming out with a good set here. They're going to try and get something going to the rim, I would guess.
Here's a jumper at the free throw line. It's up and good. That time for Cameron Wilbon. Coming out of the timeout, Sacramento State finds points out of it. Montana State looking to continue on with this run. They're 4 for their last 4 from the field. As Great Osabar go down inside to Jabril Bello. Bello now backing his way into the defender. Turns right, goes up and through with a right hand. Yet again, kind of that big lineup we've been talking about. Bello and Great Osabar. We saw Coach switch to it in the Montana game. That's when the Bobcats went on their run. Brought it back within 4. Did it a little bit against Southern Utah. Here's a right wing 3. Right through. When he's open, Chappelle's as good as any shooter in the league. 22-16, 22-19. After the made shot brings it back within a possession.
Yeah, Chappelle, you can see he's got a rhythm right now. Both ends of the floor. He's got a steal. He's got a couple buckets in a row. He's feeling it.
Yeah, he's got 10 points. 10 of the 19. More than half of Sacramento State's points coming out of him. Fight for the rebound, and it will stay with Montana State underneath their own basket. 9:01 left to go in the first half, and the Bobcats with a 3-point lead. Xavier Bishop will take it out underneath his own basket. Inbound, the swing around. Great Osabar now over to the far side. Gazales cuts down to the baseline, finds Xavier Bishop. Bobcats quick ball movement and quick basket. Raekwon Battle for 3.
And that's where you see somebody makes a couple free throws, they make a layup, all of a sudden that rim starts to get a lot bigger. Raekwon Battle already up to 8 points, leading scorer for the Bobcats.
25-19, Bobcats up by 6. 8:33 left to go in the first half, and a whistle coming. Whistle coming against Jabril Bello. Jabril will pick up his first, just the team's second foul of this game. Montana State up by 6. Into the ball game, checks back in. Bryce Fowler now, who had the 2 fouls. He's the leading scorer for Sacramento State. And Fowler averages 18 points a game. He right now has been held in check to just 2. Around the timeline, Sacramento State will reset at the top with 10 seconds on the shot clock. There's a right wing 3 off the front of the mark. Just about everyone in this lineup can shoot a 3, and Wilbon shoots it off the front of the rim. It won't go. Raekwon down to the corner now, back over to Xavier Bishop. Down inside, Great Osabar backing his way over to the right. Now we'll feed it over to Bello, and it's knocked out of Bello's hands, and it will go over to Sacramento State. Coach Stanley Sprinkle saying there's a little bit of contact down.
2 points right now. He's 1 for 5 from the field, so I'd expect him to get going anytime. He's too good a player not to.
Fowler clears it over to the top now. Top of the key 3 right through the net. That time for Xavier Ford. No, rather that's Fitzpatrick rather that hits that 3-pointer. He hits yet another one. He's now got 2 3-pointers. He's got 6 points. Brought this back within a possession. 25-22. Montana State right now with a 3-point lead. Xavier Bishop at the right wing. Down to 9 seconds to shoot. Drives underneath the hoop. Nothing open. 5 seconds. Gazales catches. Now releases to Xavier Bishop. Left wing 3 on the way. No good. Off the side of the rim that time at Sacramento State. Trying to bring this back within a game. 25-22. Bobcats led by as many as 6. 7 minutes left to go in the first half. Sacramento State hit in the 3-pointers here so far in this game. Done a really nice job shooting 50% from 3. They're 4 of 8. Well, the Bobcats are just 1 of 6 from 3. 17%. 8 seconds to shoot. Drive over to the left wing. Fowler now back over to the top. Little floater will not go off the front of the rim. That time for the 7-footer Hugo Clarkin. Rebound Montana State. Great Osabar down to the baseline. He traveled, took an extra step, but a turnover will give the ball back over. The Bobcats, they got 5 turnovers to just 1 turnover for Sacramento State so far.
Yeah, and that's a big factor in this game. Something Montana State has struggled a little bit with here lately, something they want to obviously get right. Sac State does a great job of taking care of the ball. Part of that's their style of play, but they are very, very, very efficient with the basketball.
You're at the top. Fitzpatrick for three. Back-to-back three-pointers, and the Hornets have tied this game up at 25 apiece. A 6-0 run now in just a minute and a half. Trying to get past half court. There's a whistle coming against Fowler, and he's now got three. Bryce Fowler running the top of that press that time. Used his body against Xavier Bishop. His first, team sixth. His third, sorry, team sixth.
Looks like it's team seventh. They're lining up for a one-on-one right here. And that's a huge, huge third foul for Sacramento State. Take one of their best players off the floor, or their best player off the floor. It's going to be incumbent then on Fitzpatrick to continue to hit shots, and then Chappelle to also score. He's coming in for Fowler right now.
Free throw up, no good. The first part of the one-on-one, but great Asabar gets the rebound. Gonzalez left wing three, too hard off the back of the iron that time. Rebound coming for Sacramento State. 25-25, we're all tied up here with 5:55 left to go with this first half. Near the top, driving over to the left is Chappelle. Back it over to the right wing. Double team down to the corner. They'll clear it back over to the top now to Komagum. Komagum shot off the mark and a rebound inside for Great Asabar. There's some arms kind of locked in there, and Coach Stanley Sprinkle wanted a foul called. This is Jabril Bello with the right wing. Bello now will slip it over to Great Asabar. Over to the corner now, Gonzalez driving baseline, back around the timeline. Right wing, it's Ahmad Adamu. Adamu driving in, turn, spins, lets it fly off the side of the rim, and it won't go. Out of bounds. And it will stay with Montana State. Coach Brandon Laird thinks for sure that this should go to Sacramento State. That's kind of an area, too, where this student section, Coach Stanley Sprinkle has challenged the students. We're in the officials' ears, and now they will signal back over to Sacramento State.
And that's the right call. I think it was deflected out of bounds by Great Asabar. The replay shows it. Probably good job by the officials to get together and get it right.
Wilbon with the basketball at the top of the key. It's interesting, the different paces. I mean, we had that game on Tuesday. There was a track meet down the court. You couldn't even say it fast enough as quickly as it was happening. Now this one, a much slower pace to it so far. Efficient on both sides, have been both teams. And there's an efficient shot coming out of Chappelle from the right elbow to make it 27-25. Sacramento State, since having the early lead, goes back in front. Bello down to the baseline, or down at the block. His shot up, no good, denied by the side of the rim. But the Bobcats down 2. Sacramento State with the basketball.
11-3 run for the Hornets right now. And the Bobcats haven't scored in 4 minutes.
On the timeline, back over to the top to Wilbon. Wilbon looking to get a screen from Komagum. We'll take that screen over to the right side. Now double team to the corner. Great Asabar gets his hand on it. Now it's Nick Gonzalez who had it knocked into his hand. Bobcats with the basketball. That's just the second turnover of the game for Sacramento State. They've been rather efficient so far as Xavier Bishop is down to the left block, turning, spinning, and taking an extra step. But travel will send it back over to Sacramento State. 4:03 left to go with the first half. 27-25. Montana State right down with a 2-point lead. No points for Montana State in close to 5 minutes now.
Yeah, that Sac State defense has really picked up, and the Bobcats have got 4 turnovers in that stretch, and obviously haven't made a field goal, haven't gotten to the free throw line.
Here's Fitzpatrick. That time he misses it all. Sacramento State has marched back in front on an 8-0 run right now, but the Bobcats have not scored in more than 5 minutes. This is kind of the area where I know Coach Sprinkle said, okay, who's going to step up in these type of moments? We haven't hit a shot in a really long time. Who's going to be the guy who can get points when the Bobcats desperately need it? Raekwon Battle's been good so far in today's game with 8 points. They go down inside to Ahmad Adamu with a jumper down to the baseline through, and it's Ahmad Adamu who gets his first 2 points of today's ball game to stop that scoring drought of the Bobcats.
Really nice play there by Coach Sprinkle against his own to get Adamu isolated on the medium block there, and he's able to put it in off glass.
can see for our viewing audience, Jabril Bello checked out of the game. He's riding the bike down there, trying to stay loose. And a little bit of a limp coming off the court in that game on Tuesdays. This shot into the center of the lane is up and good for Hugo Clarkin. 29-27, back in front is Sacramento State. Raekwon in the corner, backs his way out, now feeds it to Great, who catches and is denied by the side of the rim. That time, the dunk will not go.
Like the big fella going after it right there, but you sure want him to finish it.
Here's a floater off for Chappelle. A rebound coming for Xavier Bishop. Bishop now past half court, slides over to the left, slides through a couple of defenders, wide open three. Raekwon battle, knocks in the three-pointer that time. Long range three-pointer, and the Bobcats march in front 30-29 here with 2:10 left to go with the first half.
And that transition game right now has been huge for Montana State. Able to get out and score. That gives them 7 fast break points to 0.
Raekwon up to 11 points now. This one off the side of the glass is up and good for Cameron Wilbon on the other side. Here's the quick feed to Raekwon in transition, driving down to the baseline, falls but gets back up. And Raekwon will slow it back down to the top of the key. Montana State has almost doubled up Sacramento State when it comes to rebounds so far. Here's Ahmed Adamu, jumper into the lane, and it won't go. Great Asamoah with 8 rebounds already. Well on pace, be able to get himself into double figures. The driving down to the baseline, Wilbon dishes it back out. Here to Clarkin. Clarkin into the center of the lane and throws the line drive off his left hand through. 33-30. Sacramento State back, marches in front by 3. Xavier Bishop around the timeline over to the right wing, now down inside. The slip pass and the finish from Ahmed Adamu. What a feed and what an assist on a great Asamoah that time.
Yeah, great. 7 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists in the first half. The freshman is having himself a ball game.
No kidding. Just a freshman, like you said. He's going to be a special talent here in Bozeman. Here's Wilbon for the right wing. They'll feed it to Kalmagoon. And then driving down to the baseline to dunk for Clarkin. The 7-footer finishes it out of Newbury, England. And now it's Xavier Bishop past half court. 35 seconds left to go until the halftime horn. 20 seconds left to go with the shot clock. Bobcats down by 3. Here's the feed to Raekwon, and it's denied by the side of the rim. Shot clock turned off. Sacramento State can now hold for the final one of the first half. Bobcats up by as many as 6, find themselves down right now by 3. Down to 15 seconds left to go with this first half, where Sacramento State is 3 for their last 3. Down to 4 seconds, top of the key, 3 wide open is good. Zach Chappelle has a wide open eye and go against a couple of different zone and man-to-man defenses as they come out of the zone to welcome in the second half now. Here's Xavier Bishop at the right wing. Been hard to get penetration inside. Ahmed Adamu tries to do that, throws it away into the hands this time of Chappelle. Chappelle dishes over to the right wing. Fitzpatrick off the side of the rim, but it will not go. He had hit a number of 3-pointers in the first half. This one rolling off the foot. That time of Bryce Fowler. Bryce Fowler back out there. Sacramento State fans happy to see him back out there after 3 early fouls. Got himself into some trouble and didn't get to play those last couple of minutes, but it didn't hurt Sacramento State as they continued to march in front. Fowler leads his team with 18 points he averages throughout the year. Patterson's 3-pointers off.
And that's a guy we, boy, Bobcat fans would like to see find his rhythm. He's getting looks. He's just not knocking them in.
Here's Cameron Wilbon at the top. Dishes over to the left wing, and it was Fowler who led. Wilbon a little bit too far, but a foul coming. This foul is coming against Abdul Muhammad, and that's his second of the team's first of the second half.
Boy, he was open on the back screen, had the lob. It wasn't a very good pass, but Sac State gets bailed out with the foul, able to retain possession.
19:06 left to go with this second half. And the Bobcats down 6. Dribbling to the top of the key goes Chappelle. Over to the right wing, Fitzpatrick cannot leave him open. Xavier Bishop is guarding him. He's hit a couple of 3-pointers. 5 seconds to shoot. Right wing 3 on the way. No good. Off for Wilbon, and a rebound inside for Montana State. Bobcats trying to be the first ones to score in the second half. Inside, the right-handed layup, good for Xavier Bishop. He goes straight to the dish and gets 2.
Nice take by Bishop there again. Same thing he did in the second half the other night. He sensed his team just needed to play and just stepped up and made something happen out of nothing.
18:25 to go with the second half, and the Sacramento State Hornets lead it by 4. Backing his way inside, Fowler with a fadeaway jumper in. That time right from the free throw line. That penetration, then about a 10-footer he's good for. 40-34, back by 6 is Sacramento State. Patterson for the right wing. Around the timeline he goes, and down inside to Bello. Back over to Abdul Muhammad. Fakes the shot, now takes a 3 from the left wing as it bounces in and then rattles its way out. Left wing 3, transition on the way. Won't go for Chappelle. We've seen a little bit more movement coming out of Sacramento State. Getting down the court in a little bit more of a hurry here in the second half, up by 6.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that fits their game plan. I think they'd rather see a game that's nice and slow.
Bishop won't let it go, but Abdul Muhammad gets the rebound. The Bobcats have dominated the rebound category. Here's Patterson for the left wing, 3-0. Off the mark that time. Bobcats have out-rebounded Sacramento State by 8 so far in this ball game, but those 8 points coming for Sacramento State then in points off turnover. They have 8 points coming off turnover, and the Bobcats with 0. Down to the baseline, back turn. Komaguma blocked that time. Second on the all-time list for Montana State. Jabril Bello adds another one. Here's Xavier Bishop, dishes and splits the defender to give it to Adamu, who goes up. Adamu pulls it within 4.
Really good penetration by Bishop there. Not very often you see a two-handed block shot like last possession by Bello.
Fowler loses it. Adamu's got it. Sprinkle telling him to run. And he's got it hit out of his hands that time over to Abdul Muhammad. Lays it off glass. 2-point ball game. Back within a possession. And a whistle. There's a whistle all of a sudden that game, and Raekwon Battle will check into the game. Tyler Patterson will check out. Thought as if it was a timeout called by Coach Laird, but with that whistle coming, but not the case. 16:29 to go with the second half.
And they're going to have to reset the shot clock as well because it was running that whole time. Look at this block by Bello. 2 hands. Man, you just never see a guy block a shot with 2 hands, especially against another big, a very good big for that matter. Bello just has such an excellent timing.
You can feel the energy of this place picking up to these last couple of minutes now. Time's down the court, but the Bobcats have seen points come their way. So the replay monitor will go the officials just to add a little bit more time on there.
Yeah, I think they're just verifying that the game clock wasn't moving when the shot clock was moving. Looks like they okayed it, so off we go.
All right, they got to get this set. They put it at 27.
I think they're going to add 9 seconds.
Oh, 37 onto the game clock, yeah. They'll do just that.
2-point ball game.
Sacramento State coach Brandon Laird's kind of like that. It almost acted as if a timeout slowed things down after this place was getting loud and ready. Here at the top, drive over to the right for Chappelle. Chappelle now count the basket and to the free throw line. He draws contact that time. The Bobcats get this one called against Jabril Bello, and that's Bello's second, team second.
I'll tell you what, credit Sac State. They have come out, and every time they've needed a basket to stop a run, they've been able to get it. A couple possessions ago, it was Fowler getting a little fadeaway over Bello. Now it's Chappelle with the and one.
And the free throw is good to put Sacramento State up by 5. 43-38. 16:20 to go with the second half as Xavier Bishop crosses half court. 16:15 to go in regulation. The Bobcats will look at clinch an outright title today. They've already got a share of it. They want it all to themselves with either a win today or a win on Saturday. Right wing 3 on the way. Raekwon Battle won't go. Raekwon leads the team with 11 points right now. Rebound coming for Sacramento State. Cameron Wilbon over to the right wing. Backs it to the top of the key over to Komaguma. Goom over to Fowler. Fowler, the leading scorer for Sacramento State this season. 18 points. Just held to just 4 tonight. Fadeaway jumper won't go. Jabril Bello gets the rebound inside. And the Bobcats looking to move the basketball a little bit in a hurry. Bishop driving in underneath the hoop, passes to Adamu. What an assist and a find for Adamu that time, but Credit Xavier Bishop with the assist.
Yeah, and Bishop has either scored or assisted on every point Montana State scored in the second half. They're up 8-5. It's been all Xavier Bishop.
Yeah, 6 assists on the game here today for Xavier Bishop. 15:07 to go in this second half. Wilbon to the top of the key. Dribbling over to the left, down to 7 seconds to shoot. Wilbon driving, now spins into the center lane, lets a floater go off the side of the rim, denied. And a rebound for Montana State, who's within a possession, 43-40. Trying to take back the lead after Sacramento State got it late in the second half, took it into halftime. Driving off glass, Xavier Bishop looking for the call. Can't get it. And the rebound coming for Sacramento State. Fowler now dishes. Here's Fitzpatrick, wide open three-pointer, and you better believe he's going to make those.
36 to go, long time to go, but Sac State feels like they've been in control of this game since middle of the first half. The Bobcats just have not been able to put enough of a run together to kind of seize that momentum.
Well, we saw it in the game on Sunday, and it's transpiring here yet again. 7 3-pointers for Sacramento State, just 2 3-pointers for the Bobcats. As we speak, Raekwon Battle hits a 3-pointer to make it now 3 3-pointers for the Bobcats. But an opponent shooting 47% from 3 is going to be the defense that Coach Stanley Sprinkle's going to talk about, I'm sure, post-game.
Without question, and that's been the difference for Montana State February and March. When they've locked in and guarded, they've been really, really tough to beat. When they've not, they are just an average team, just like anybody else.
Here's Fowler down to the baseline, skips it over to the top, and it's stolen away. Raekwon's one-on-one, now over to Xavier Bishop. Bishop 6:46 and full court pressure coming from Montana State for the first time in this game. Xavier Bishop will apply it here to Fitzpatrick as he now gets it past half court. Fitzpatrick at the top of the key, driving over to the right side now. Fowler at the top of the key. Free throw line now. Fowler back this way. And Amadou spin moves. Now lets one fly off the side of the rim, but it won't go. Rebound inside for Amadou with the Bobcats looking to get their first lead since the first half. Xavier Bishop off glass the layup. Coast to coast for Xavier Bishop.
And the Bobcats on an 8-0 run. They've made 6 of their last 8 shots. And Xavier Bishop has either scored or assisted on 16 straight points for Montana State.
And a whistle coming against Raekwon Battle. Raekwon's charged with his first and the team's third.
What a tremendous drive there by Bishop, able to get it up on the glass, and he's got 2 guys trying to block that shot at 5'8". He made the play.
Here's Fitzpatrick at the top. This foul coming against Raekwon Battle. You hear the dismay because you saw the extended arm from Zach Chappelle. Raekwon's going to pick up his second. Team fourth.
Chappelle's tough guy to keep out of the paint when he gets ahead of steam.
Chappelle backing his way over to the hoop. Now will back his way. Down to 10 seconds to shoot. Give it back over to the top to Fowler with 7. Fowler with a floater off glass. He's so good about 5, 6, 7 feet away from the hoop. Turning, spinning for a big fella, but yet he can shoot it with some range as this ball's down to the ground. Loose ball, fighting for it. Raekwon Battle's got it. The Bobcats will regain possessions. This one's knocked out of bounds by Fitzpatrick. Nick Gonzalez will check in a tied ball game. Ball on the ground. And Bobcats lucky to be able to come up with it. What looked to be a Sacramento State. Well, they were going to get Montana State's 7th turnover of the game.
The Bobcats have been clean in the second half. They're winning the turnover battle here 2-zip. Got to keep taking care of that rock, giving themselves a chance to score. It's part of how come they've made 6 of their last 8.
Xavier Bishop takes the shot, likes the shot, and makes the shot. 51-48, back in front of the Bobcats for the first time since the first half.
Boy, and you know, these last 2 days exemplify why Xavier Bishop might be Big Sky MVP. When his team is needed in the second half, he has just been incredible.
He really has. As Fowler is down to the baseline, back in his way, skips it over to the right wing, driving down to the baseline now is Wilbon. He'll dish over to the right side, way off the mark that time, nowhere near for Teono Hardy. Here's a right wing 3 for Gonzalez, and it will not go. Off the mark, but great Asabar with his 9th rebound goes up, blocked, back into his hands. Now he lays it off the front of the rim and through. Great Asabar, 9 rebounds. What a contest, and Coach Stanley Sprinkle trying to get the brick alive on a Thursday night in Bozeman. 53-48, the Bobcats up by 5 with 11:32 to go in this second half. Here the left wing is Chappelle. Chappelle driving over to the top of the key. Turns, spins, now dishes over to Fowler. Fowler, man-to-man with Adamu. Fade away with 8 seconds. Will dish over to Wilbon. Wilbon goes off the side of the rim. It won't go, but the Bobcats running with it. Montana State now will slow it down. Adamu pass half court. Xavier Bishop at the top of the key. Here's Xavier Bishop driving over to the right. Will clear it to Abdul Muhammad. Left wing 3. Off. And a rebound inside for Sacramento State. Sacramento State at the top. Back and forth little shuffle for Chappelle. And Chappelle
actually happens, and Montana State goes dancing for the first time since the '96 NCAA tournament.
Free throw is good for Chappelle. Bobcats right now trying to get a sole championship. They already have they have already clinched a share of the championship, but with tonight's win, they could go ahead and clinch a complete championship. They're up by 3, 53-50 over Sacramento State with 10:39 to go in the second half. As Xavier Bishop dishes over to Nick Gonzalez, skips it down inside to Great Asabar. Asabar had a great game so far, and this one slides off his hand that time. Down to the baseline, it will stay with the Bobcats. Last off Sacramento State.
Yeah, Asabar is just 1 point away from a double-double. I think it'd be the first of his career.
Would be.
He's got 9 points, 10 rebounds already with 10 minutes to play.
Xavier Bishop resets at the top. 3 seconds to shoot. Nick Gonzalez will shoot. Right wing 3. He's fouled. And he'll go to the free throw line now to shoot 3. This foul coming against number 14, William Fitzpatrick. He got a piece of the hand that time of Nick Gonzalez. That's the team's 8th.
Yeah, not a good foul right there by Fitzpatrick. That was a rush shot with 1 on the shot clock. Gonzalez was just having to fire it up there. You got to make him make that shot.
85% free throw shooter, one of the best on the team. And the free throw is good. The first one. Trying to extend this Montana State lead right now. Now a 2-possession ball game with the Bobcats in front. Second one on the way is good. One more. No field goals for Sacramento State in the last now 2.5 minutes. Free throw good. 56-50. Montana State in front by 6. Back tied their largest lead of today's contest, and that came in the first half after trailing by 6 at the halftime break. Sacramento State left wing dribbling over to the top of the key. Here now Chappelle. Chappelle dishes over to Fowler. Stolen away. Great Asabar has it. Feeds it to Nick Gonzalez. Gonzalez with the open lane. Off glass. The layup is through. Great Asabar with a steal and the 5. And the Bobcats are up by 8. 58-50 with 9:48 to go in the second half.
And that's an 18-4 run for Montana State over the last 6 minutes.
Here's Fowler, left wing, driving down to the baseline, and he draws a little contact, falls down to the ground, gets the shot to go. Really good 4-foot around the room. That's around the rim. Pulls it within 6. 58-52. 9:27 to go in this second half. Xavier Bishop setting him up at the top of the key. Driving over to the right side. They'll feed it down inside, and it's lost. That pass is lost. Stolen away by Sacramento State. They'll go the other way right now, down by 6. Fitzpatrick driving over to the hoop. Lets the floater go off glass. No good. Another rebound coming for Great Asabar. He's to 11 rebounds. And Xavier Bishop and State played Montana State really close. I mean, this league is as good as it's ever been. And really, from top to bottom, it's going to be a really interesting weekend next week in Boise.
Yeah, it's really uncommon to see every team have at least 5 league wins, and that's exactly what you've got here in the Big Sky Conference.
Asabar loses the handle, and it goes back over to Sacramento State. Haven't seen this too often in the second half. Great Asabar's been playing great so far, but they've got Great and they have Jabril in there. Going back with that big lineup like we saw in the first half. As Fowler will dish it over to the baseline, and a dunk down to the baseline coming for Komagum, that is. 58-54, back to a 4-point game for the Bobcats with 8:23 to go in the second half. Montana State up by 4.
And Sac State's had to move into a little bit more man-to-man here with the Bobcat run against the zone. that has opened up things for the Bobcat offense. Be interesting to see if Sac State stays with it.
Raekwon Battle at the right wing. Feeds it inside to Bello. Bello now one-on-one. Down there, will go up and will be fouled. Fouls coming against Jonathan Comagum. His second, team's third. So onto the free throw line will go Jabril Bella to try to extend a 4-point lead with 8:01 to go in this second half. Free throws good. As Abdul Muhammad will check in, it's so crazy how things can change. We already talked about it once, but from night to night, this was just 2 days ago against Southern Utah, and we saw an absolute track meet on either side. Both teams just running down the court. Now we've seen a number of times late in the shot clock. Teams are working around, making the defense work, switching, and all that as Bello hits his second one.
And then we'll come out here Saturday afternoon, and it'll be another track meet.
Yeah. Northern Colorado knows how to score the basketball. They lead Montana right now. We'll get a check of the First Interstate Bank scoreboard coming up. Driving inside, block. Sacramento State with the basketball underneath their hoop. Inbound over to the right wing to Fitzpatrick. He's hit a number of three-pointers. Fitzpatrick's got 12 points, but right now with the basketball is Chappelle, and Chappelle's got 20. No question, he's been good. A dish it, and out of the hands, a turnover. That time out of the hands of Comagum, and a rebound coming from Montana State.
Boy, Montana State got lucky there because Comagum had an easy dunk. He was going to be uncontested. It either got stripped or he fumbled the catch. Either way, it doesn't work out for the Hornets.
Chappelle's Raekwon Battle dunks it, count it. And to the free throw line. Raekwon Battle is showing his athleticism day in, day out in this league, and Battle leads the team with 16, trying to make it 17.
That's a heck of a drive. Take it baseline and take off and go in amongst the 3 big trees from the Hornets and finish in traffic and one. Bobcats with 4 and 1s in the second half. That's part of their aggressiveness and their offense. One of the reasons they're up 31-16 in the second frame.
Free throw is good. 63-54, and the Bobcats up 9. It was 7-12 to go with the second half. Fowler crossing half court. He's up to 10. He averages 18, had just 2 in the first half. Been more efficient in the second half. Fitzpatrick has been efficient every time he's touched the basketball. He's up to 15. He hits another three-pointer. That pulls it right back within 6. Xavier Bishop at the top of the key. Right wing 3 on the way. Raekwon Battle won't go that time. Fight for the rebound inside. Coming away with it now Sacramento State's Chappelle. Chappelle now dishes. Fitzpatrick again. Halfway into the night. It will not go that time. The three-point attempt. Another rebound coming inside from Montana State. Bishop here at the top of the key, slowing things down with 6:24 to go in the second half. And the Bobcats with a 6-point lead. A win today clinches an outright Big Sky championship. Sole possession. There's Bello. Down to the right block, backing his way into the center. Fakes the spin over to the right. Now spins it back over to the left and spins it into the hands of Raekwon. Here's a left wing 3 with no time on the shot clock. Won't go for Xavier Bishop, but the rebound coming for Sacramento State. Under 6 minutes to go in this ball game. 6-point lead right now for Montana State. Down to the baseline, Fitzpatrick. And a whistle coming before that. A whistle coming against Montana State. This one called on Nick Gonzalez. He'll be called with a push. Nick's first, team 6.
Boy, and I'll tell you, the Bobcats are lucky there because that three-pointer would have counted and Sac State would have retained possession because the foul was after the shot was released. That could have been, in essence, 2-possession swing there for the Hornets.
63-57, a 6-point lead right now for Montana State over Sacramento State. Fowler back to the top, running a lot of point has been Fowler here in his second half. He got 3 early fouls, and that kind of took him out of the first half. There's a jumper in the center lane, up and a whistle coming against the Bobcats. This one on Abdul Muhammad, and Abdul's the first to get 3. The team's got 7. Into the bonus will go Sacramento State with 5:37 to go in the second half. Cameron Wilbon to the free throw line. Hasn't been a lot of time at the free throw line for Sacramento State. This will be just their 4th and 5th free throw attempt of this game. Free throws up, good. Through the net it goes, and it pulls it within 5.
Box out.
(63-58). Bobcats in front by 5. Second one of the way is up and no good. Off the front of the rim. Fight for the rebound inside into the hands of Montana State's Amalidamba. And the Bobcats bringing the basketball down. 5:30 to go with this second half. Right now in a 5-point Montana State lead. Driving over to the right, it's Raekwon Battle with the basketball. He'll dish it down over to Abdul Muhammad. Now over to Jabril Bello. Bello goes up. No foul call that time. A lot of contact down to the post, and the rebound coming for Sacramento State. Sacramento State down to the baseline. Back of their way over to the right side. Down inside, Wilbon goes up. Can't get it to go. Too hard off the back of the rim that time, and a rebound Montana State. Xavier Bishop, coast to coast, lays it off the side of the rim. The layup is good, and the Bobcats are in front by 7. It seems like just when the Bobcats need a point, just when they need a little help here or there, it's Xavier Bishop who comes through.
Yeah, it's definitely him. He's heart and soul for this Bobcat team.
Fowler backing his way to the center of the hoop. Shot up. Side of the rim won't go, but the finish through count it. And the foul for Jonathan Comgoom. Whistle coming against Abdul Muhammad, and he now has 4. The team now has 8. And Great Asabar is into the ball game for Jabril Bello.
It's a great offensive rebound right there by Comgoom. He's able to finish it, gets a lot of contact, and still able to finish.
Onto the free throw line, trying to make it a 3-point play. Shot up, no good. Another miss for the free throw line. Now 4 of 6 from the free throw line is Sacramento State. 65-60. Bobcats in front by 5 with the basketball. 4:25 left to go in the second half, and a whistle coming against Sacramento State. Foul on number 4. Zach Chappelle, his second. Team 6th. Bobcat basketball underneath their own basket. Great Asabar will give it to Adamu. Adamu slips it back into the hands of Great Asabar. Goes up, out of bounds, and it will stay with the Bobcats. Look like a lot of contact underneath there. Coach Danley Sprinkle cannot believe it. We're getting a replay on side here, and it looked like on the left arm of Great Asabar. Trying to slip it in is Xavier Bishop, and it's stolen away that time by Comgoom. And Sacramento State will go the other way now. 4:05 to go in this second half, and the Bobcats up 5. Back and forth. These two teams not scoring a lot the last couple of minutes now. It's kind of been the defense put out there for either team, and an offensive foul. Zach Chappelle will get his 3rd. That will be the team 7th, and that will take us to immediate timeout. 3:58 to go in the second half, and the Bobcats up 5, 65-60. You're listening to Bobcat basketball from Learfield. With a 5-point lead over Sacramento State. That's kind of the way it's gone the last couple of minutes. Let's get a look at the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. 12-point lead for Northern Colorado. 62-50 with just 4:50 left to go in Dahlberg Arena. Southern Utah on top of Idaho State 71-62 with 3:48 to go in the second half. Portland State in front of Idaho 59-55 with 8 minutes to go in that second half. And Eastern Washington in front of Northern Arizona 64-53 with 4:13 to go in the second half. You were telling me an interesting stat too about Montana at home. They've been really good last couple of years under Coach Travis DeCure, but Northern Colorado has kind of had their number.
Yeah, they've lost 10 games in the last few years, but 5 of those losses are to Northern Colorado, and they're on pace right now to get their 6th loss at home to the Bears. So Bears have had the number of the Grizz over there in Missoula.
Xavier Bishop now will bring it past half court. 3:50 left to go in the second half, and the Bobcats up 5 with the basketball. Asabar gives it over to Abadamu. Here's Raekwon Battle, the leading scorer. Won't go. He's got 17 for the Bobcats, but a long rebound coming from Montana State. They've dominated that category, up 14 to the rebound category. 9 offensive rebounds, 39 total, or 10 offensive rebounds, 40 total rebounds. Xavier Bishop, 5 seconds to shoot, will shoot, and it's too hard. Off the side that time, didn't get a piece of the rim, but a rebound coming for Sacramento State inside. 3:13 to go in the second half. 5-point lead for the Bobcats. Sacramento State hanging tight here in the second half. Fowler at the top of the key. 20 points for Chappelle, but he's been quiet last couple of minutes. Here's Fowler. Off glass, good. Driving inside from about 4 foot. That pulls it back within a possession for the first time in a while. 65-62 with 2:52 left to go in this second half. Bobcats up 3. Abdul Muhammad at the top gives it to Awadadami. Now Raekwon Battle. Raekwon, the right wing, down to 10 seconds to shoot. Alvin fakes the shot, steps back, puts it up, and puts it down. 68-62. A 6-point lead for the Bobcats. Back at it.
Big shot by the senior, stepping up, and when his team desperately needed it.
Fitzpatrick can't get it to go. And a rebound inside coming for Xavier Bishop. Montana State right now with a 6-point lead. 2:10 left to go in this second half. Xavier Bishop dribbling over to the right side. Back over to the top, trying to use a little time. 2 minutes left to go in the contest. Driving inside, Raekwon Battle took an extra step that time. And a turnover will send it back over to Sacramento State. Great Asabar's out. Jabril Bellows back in.
Not the great sequence Montana State wanted there. You're up 6 with 2 to play. Love to push that to a 3-possession game if you can. The turnovers have been a problem. Not so bad here in the second half, just 4, but that's an untimely turnover right there.
Fowler on the top, driving over to the left edge, spins himself over to the right. Offensive charge, back to the Bobcats it goes, and that's his 4th.
Now Bobcats with 2 huge charges drawn in the last 4 possessions. Xavier Bishop got one on Chappelle, and Ahmed Adamu gets one on Fowler. And turnover to turnover, Bobcats get it back.
1:48 left to go in the second half of the Bobcats up 6. Bobcats with the basketball, full court pressure coming out of Sacramento State. Xavier Bishop gets past half court. 20 seconds left of the shot clock. Bobcats could take it down to about 1:17. A win clinches the Big Sky Championship sole possession. The Bobcats already know they're going to be Big Sky champs, but they'll be it all by themselves atop of the league with a win here tonight. Here's Xavier Bishop driving in, lays it off. On to 70. Go the Bobcats up 8. Xavier Bishop, when you need a big-time shot, you go to the point guard who's got 16. Driving on the other side, shot up no good, out of bounds. And it will stay with Sacramento State down to the baseline with 1:11 left to go with the ball game. Abdul Muhammad's in. Nick Gonzalez is out. Great crowd tonight. They're excited to see a championship, sole possession of a championship for the first time in 20 years. Here's Fowler at the top. Driving over to the left edge, lays it off glass, count it, and to the free throw line. That whistle coming against the Bobcats, and coming against number 5, Ahmed Adamu, his 3rd. Adamu's got 3, and the team's got 8. Nick Gonzalez back into the ball game.
That's a tough foul right there. You really don't want a foul. You'd rather just give them the layup when you're up 8.
And pulls it within 5 now. 2-possession ball game. Full court pressure coming out of Sacramento State. Xavier Bishop with it. The Bobcats can take it down to about 33 seconds if Sacramento State does not foul. Pass half court goes Xavier Bishop, and a whistle coming against Sacramento State. This one's on Cameron Wilbon, and that is Wilbon's 2nd.
That'll be a 1-on-1 situation for Xavier Bishop and the Bobcats. And that's a good play by Sac State. Give the whole full court pressure, see if you can force a turnover, and if you can't, force the one-on-one because you've got 2 opportunities to make them shoot one-on-one free throw attempts.
So Xavier Bishop at the free throw line. Couple of big free throws coming up. Up and good. Bobcats now 14 of 17 for the free throw line. 82% of the ball game. Good free throw shooting day. Free throws up. Good. And Kellen Times is in. Xavier Bishop will check out, add a little defense. Well, Kellen Times and the Bobcats up by 7 now. Trying to get the place on their feet. Full court pressure onto the Bobcats. Sacramento State now going over to the right side. Driving inside. Fitzpatrick throws it off the side of the rim. Rather, that's Chappelle. Chappelle gets it to go. And that pulls it within 5 at a timeout taken by Coach Brandon Laird. He uses his final timeout. The Bobcats still sit with 3 timeouts left. 30-second timeout. 47 seconds remain in the ball game. But the Bobcats are up 72-67 in front by 5. And Sacramento State, give them credit, every time the Bobcats make a shot, try to put this game away. On the other side, Sacramento State seems to have the answer.
Yeah, I mean, they've been resilient all evening, and they led for the whole middle portion of this basketball game. Montana State, once they've gotten the lead, they've been able to keep it at a 2-possession game. 47 seconds left. You'd expect kind of the same thing we saw last time. Sacramento State come out, put the pressure on in the full court, try and get a trap, force a turnover. If you don't get it, foul quickly, and then try and or hope for a missed one-on-one free throw attempt so you can try and get this under 1 possession.
The Bobcats are going to check Nick Gazela's back in. He's an 85% free throw shooter. All the guys on the court right now are well over 70% free throw shooters. The worst free throw shooter on the court, still a good free throw shooter in Jabril Bello, 72%. 47 seconds remain in the ball game. 72-67, up 5 is Montana State. Nick Gazales will be the one throwing the basketball in. And he'll throw it into Ahmed Adamu down to the corner. Adamu now dribbling over to the right, passes up over to Nick Gazales, and it's knocked out of bounds. It will stay with the Bobcats. 41.6 seconds remain in this second half. So it was knocked out of bounds by Sacramento State. 25 seconds remain on that shot clock. They'll inbound it to Jabril Bello. Bello now will be fouled on his right arm that time, and he'll go to the free throw line. This foul's coming against number 21, Jonathan Comagum, and Comagum will pick up his 4th. Comagum with 4, Fowler with 4, 3 out of Chappelle, Fitzpatrick with 3. For the Bobcats, Ahmed Adamu's got 3, and that's the only guy with a little bit more than 2. Jabril Bello for the free throw line with a couple of big free throws, and the first one is up and good. It's a big one right there because that puts it as a 2 full possessions. 6-point lead right now for the Bobcats. Gazales and Xavier Bishop will check out. Defense will check in for the Bobcats and Kellen Times. 38.8 seconds remain in the second half, and the free throw is good. That makes it 3 possession. Big free throw right there. So Sacramento State will bring it down. A little bit of pressure coming out of the Bobcats. Dribbling over to the left wing 3's up. Will not go for Chappelle. Fight for the rebound. Shot clock turned off. Down to the ground. Sacramento State gets the rebound. And it's a jump ball. Jump ball will stay with Sacramento State. Sacramento State's with the basketball. 24.6 seconds remain in the second half. The shot clock has now been put back to 18 seconds. Back over to the top now, driving to the left is Chappelle. Chappelle driving down to the baseline, loses the handle that time, out of bounds.
Type situation in the Big Sky tournament.
And the way it's stacking up, it very well could be within Montana State within a week and a half. Who sees them again, even a week. So Jabril Bello will get it past half court, stand past half court, and he'll get fouled. 12.4 remains on the clock after 7 seconds right off. This foul coming against Chappelle, who will pick up his 4th. So the defense of Kellen Times and Abdul Muhammad. The Bobcats have done this late in games this season. In and out the rotation with Kellen Times, Abdul Muhammad providing the defense. Nick Gonzalez and Xavier Bishop providing the offense. Jabril Bello got himself 10 points here today. And Bello, 5 rebounds down inside. A free throw would not go. Kind of a sneaky one, too. Amin Adamu gets 9 rebounds in this contest today.
And as does Abdul Muhammad. You got Osabar has got 12 and 2 guys with 9. That's part of the Bobcats up 12, 41-29 on the rebounding margin. That's a big difference.
Free throw up and good that time for Jabril Bello. Up by 8. Sacramento State pass half court. Down to 10 seconds. Driving over to the left edge. Layup is up and good. That time for Cameron Wilbon. The Bobcats looking to put it in. Amin Adamu with the basketball on the Bobcats. Sole possession. Big Sky champions is Montana State. They don't